Okay, this is June the 25th, 2015, Thursday, and we're looking at the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. And just wanted to show a few things going on in the Pacific and South Pacific and in the North Pacific and in California. There's a lot of thunderstorms over here right near the Mexican, California, Arizona, and New Mexico border. And these are being stomped down using either the high power microwave radar or type of a HARP weapon. Not too sure, but what we do know is that the weather in Los Angeles tonight was showing a large circular high pressure right here. Now, if we look at this channel, this looks anything but normal, the way this has all been cut out. We see some kind of a downburst happening here. We've got one happening here. There's one happening down here. There's water vapor all over the place. It's actually surrounding California. Here's California right here in this dry area. All right, and this has been set up. For some reason, California's not been getting much of any kind of real rain. We've gotten this year we've had just around 10 inches here in the mountain foothill community area of Los Angeles. Now that rain came in half inch here, an inch and a half there, 3/4 here, a few tenths there, all throughout the last since the rainy season began last July 1st. And June 30th will end our rainy season here in a few days. So the ground has not had any kind of sufficient saturation of water for a long time, till actually since last year, February 28th, we had a large system, very large low pressure system move in off the Pacific. And before that rain event, there were actually no aerosol chemical chemtrails being sprayed before that rain event. And so as a result of no chemtrail spraying on February the 28th, 2014, we had 5.5 inches of rain in a 2-day span. And I find that very interesting because it correlates the observations, the evidence, how these chemical desiccants that are being sprayed affect the weather. They dry the atmosphere out and greatly lower the relative humidity in advance of these large weather systems moving onshore or from the east, as the case is here now. This weather is trying to make its way into Arizona and California, but there is last week we had this high pressure suddenly appear and is stationary right there. And that's the other thing, in the old days of weather, high pressure and low pressure would just drift along. Nothing would be parked for days or weeks on end, as we've seen this last winter and the previous 3 winters and summers. Okay, so now what we're seeing here is this high pressure that is preventing any of this flow from getting any further south than where they want it. And that's what this big dry channel is doing. And it's affecting this thunderstorm activity here, which would normally move to the northwest. We'll take a look at that actually right now. This is the rainbow loop for the southwest. This is a close-up view of what's going on right now. And this is a very large thunderstorm. It's almost the size of Arizona. And if this happens to make it into California, we'll see a lot of rain, but that won't happen. I can guarantee you that, because these transmitters have been busy knocking these down. And you can actually see right in this area right here, it looks like they blew one down several hours prior and it rebuilt, and then they may do this again. So we're going to keep an eye on this tonight. And so that's the rainbow loop. Let's go look at the this is the water vapor loop for June 25th. We're looking at the southwest. And this sequence is about, I don't know, 7 hours. These are half-hour shots that we're seeing as it advances through time. We're seeing, I believe, a half hour each frame. Okay. And this is going to be interesting because that is a very big cell, and that would bring a lot of rain where we need it in California. And also right along here, this is the Colorado River right here that divides Arizona and California. So any rain that gets down in that river can be dammed and so on. That's what we need. All right. So here's this is the rainbow loop again, showing the intensity of that rain, and that's basically right at the end of that chart on the right. So that's very intense rain. And my guess, and look at the flow here. This flow is coming in at a northeasterly direction. So the general flow is to the north, and the guys running these transmitters know that. And so my bet is that this big thunderstorm cell will be blocked and knocked down. It'll be killed. All right, now let's look at this is the water vapor loop for the southwest. And there isn't any great evidence of a HAARP downburst occurring, but it looks like there may have been one right at the very first frame of this sequence. And earlier today, I should have shot this video earlier today, because in the visible light mode and in this water vapor mode, we could see some shock waves emanating out on one of the earlier attacks during the day, about eight hours ago. If we go to visible, the last sequence of this video looks like it may have been photoshopped or modified or something, because those storms bubble up pretty high. This builds into a very large system, and then it looks like something was done with the last two frames. There's not a continuity in the. But we're going to keep an eye on this, and if anything changes, I'll put up another video. But now let's go look at the. This is the rainbow loop for the northwest, or rather the northeast Pacific, and we can see this big thunderstorm here coming right up into Arizona, New Mexico, and California area. But I really believe that the name of the game here is to keep the rain out of California, and that the reason I say that is because there are weather derivatives being traded on Wall Street and on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Weather derivatives, that means you can bet on the weather. You can bet how many sunny days per month there's going to be, or how many rainy days that there's going to be in a month. So if you're working on the inside and you have inside information on drought and drought creation and drought maintenance, and you have your finger on the transmitters, and about these derivatives bets and so on, you can cash in. And I think that's what's happening. But at the same time, I think that there's actually weather warfare going on because of the conveyor belt of storms this last season that just keep coming right out of here, one after another, and every single one of them is blocked by high pressure. There's been a persistent high pressure installed right here. There's probably been 20 of these large low pressure systems that have been blocked. I haven't counted them up, but I'm going to. I've got video of all of it, and it's going to be posted. So stay tuned, folks. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and post this just to show the continuity from yesterday, and we'll take it a day at a time. Okay, that's it.